Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm exhausted Joe. It's a bad pun. Anyway, I want to put the Racecar exhaust on my 68 Barracuda here. And here's currently what's going on under here. So these are the TTI headers, and I know a lot of guys run into this. The headers and the collector, I just got my mufflers shoved on. That's how I've been running them, just bolted on. A lot of guys run into this. You can see where they come in here. So rather than going straight with the frame rail and going out that way, same here, should do that. They both go in. So right now it's blowing in. It's not a bad deal if you were going to run an X pipe of some kind and then kind of go out and behind here. Kind of see my drive shaft loop. So if you had an X pipe going outwards and then running your exhaust out the back, that would be trick. But I don't want all that. All I want to do is, I've got some simple turnouts, and I'll show you those real quick. I know I've mentioned this before, but that's a 3-inch pipe into an oval piece of tubing, and that is a 45-degree oval bend. So I got both those pieces from Summit. If you type in oval exhaust tubing on their website, that stuff will pop up. What I'd like to do is, after I get my mufflers over, kind of have these turn out. I wanted to have them turn out about like this. So they're pointed to the outside of the car. They don't have to run way out here. I'm not into all that. And I'm not trying to add a bunch of extra length to my exhaust itself, but having it blow out from under the car will keep the noise down inside. It'll also help me save my hearing for years to come if I'm going to keep racing this car. So my other thing I need to do, and I've been needing to do this entire time, let me roll under, I need to mark and mount my my O2 bung for my AFR meter. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. I think I'll put it here into the collector side, or into the reducer side, rather than in the collector itself. I don't want to weld on my TTI headers if I don't have to. See, these have been bolted on. So I'm gonna get my collector popped off, get these separated, and then I'll kind of get a game plan going of where everything else is. The Flow FX by Flowmaster, I'm gonna stick my bung right there, and these are straight through 3-inch inside core. See my little ugly bolt head there? That's going away soon. So let me pop it apart. I'll get my welder under, and we can kind of mock up some stuff here. I've got the muffler itself pretty parallel with the frame rail, but the bottom kind of dips. And I had wondered, why is that dipping? And you can see I got a little bit of angle on that, but nothing's being blocked here. It's all blowing into a larger pipe and through. I got a little bit of you can see the angle there. There's my O2 bung. What I think I'm going to do is shorten my collector right here. I don't know. I don't want my bung interfering with my cross member at all, but I think I can take 2 inches off and be totally fine, because my oval pipe back here, that all stays there. See, she's pretty long, goes inside deep. But if that was out of the way, even right now, we are still running that pipe into the brace there, or ladder bar brace. So what I'd like to do, see if it moves forward, I can go 2 inches. If I went 2 inches, or the length of that little stub there on that pipe, that would bring me to about right here. And that looks pretty good. I don't have any clearance issues with drive shaft, loop, or any of that business. So if you look at it this way, it'll actually bring it further toward outboard of the car. So I'm gonna take off 3 inches of that dude, come back, and we'll see how she looks. Much shorter in the front, and it lines up really nicely. Just a small gap here. Sensor will go here where my finger is. Lots of room by the cross member. Keep it parallel to the frame. I can actually slide it just barely that way. And I can use a tape measure, blah de blah. It doesn't super matter. It did close up my gap some more on this side. 45. we'll turn out. I'm just almost there, and I think if I cheat a little bit, I can get it there. I don't really want it. I don't really want it touching this, as there could be a rattle or something like that. I've got some stout rubber hangers to use, and I see a perfect spot for them. But what I may end up doing is just cutting a little bit of, cut just a slight pie cut on this right here. It'll still remain its shape, but it'll give me a little bit of roundabout right there on that one, and I'll be there. Let me get this stuff tacked up and I'll show you what I got. Here is the driver's side done. See, I got a bit of an angle on this. I cut this from the inside so that I wouldn't have a big flange hanging out in there, so it is mostly open. Ran it down. There's my transition piece. Inlet here, I cut about 1 inch off this, just like the other side, and about 3 inches off my collector. Makes a nice smooth swoop. Here is my hanger, and I'll show you what it looks like on the other side. This side's mostly done. I gotta put that gasket in and screw my sensor in. But nice transition-y piece. My drive shaft hoop here, I just bolted it to the top side with a big washer, so that big rubber mount. I know there's vibration and stuff when the car goes down the track, whatever, but pretty solid. And I didn't want this to be totally solid because it'll break something. I've seen that in the past. You see my space between the pipe and the frame rail, there's plenty. And if we get on the outside and look in, so like you're coming up to the car, see my little pipe right there? Straight through, and I've got about 1/4 inch or so before it touches that, but it can't touch that anyway because it's too short, so it just comes short of that, is what I mean. So that's what she looks like. Muffler's pretty high up in there. I'll see what kind of ground clearance I have here in a minute, but I mean, that's basically tight as I wanted to go. I didn't want more than, that's about 3/4 of an inch. I didn't want less than that because it might vibrate or hit, but she's pretty solid. We'll crank it up here in just a minute. All right, our pipes are on. Also got my new beautiful transmission cooler installed with new lines. Ran nice and tight. I'm gonna fire it up and see if all that leaks or not. And you might as well. Nice and tight up under there. It's still much higher than that ladder bar bracket is. I'd also like to know if my AFR is working. She's changed a little there. Oh yeah. Look at that. Still stone cold, but so much better. I never would have believed it. That sounds nasty. I like it. I appreciate y'all watching. I'm gonna get this video out to you and hopefully get to go race this weekend. So if you want to see it, go down the strip and hear it, come back and see us.